Have you ever noticed that sometimes, despite all your efforts to stay healthy, there's this quiet discomfort you just can't shake? A subtle itching, an unpleasant odor, or skin that just doesn't feel quite right. Maybe it's something you've tried to ignore or brushed off, thinking it's just part of getting older. But what if I told you that it doesn't have to be that way? What if those small annoyances aren't just inevitable signs of age, but clues pointing to surprising causes you haven't thought about? This kind of problem often stays in the shadows, unspoken and misunderstood, even though it affects so many women over 60. It's one of those little things that quietly chip away at our comfort and confidence, making us feel a bit more isolated than we'd like. But here's the good news. These issues can often be addressed with simple changes and better understanding. In this video, we're going to explore 6 unexpected reasons behind odor, itching, and skin irritation that many women face. And I'll share easy, gentle tips that you can start using today to feel more comfortable in your skin. Let's walk through this together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Cause 1. Wearing the wrong fabric or not changing underwear often enough. It's a small detail that's easy to overlook. For years, many of us have simply opened the dresser drawer, reached for the first pair of underwear or an old favorite bra that feels familiar, and gone about our day without a second thought. It's almost a comforting ritual. Some pieces of clothing have been with us for so long that they feel like old friends, soft with age, perhaps a little worn at the seams, but still part of our daily routine. But here's the truth. Sometimes, these old friends can quietly become the source of discomfort we chalk up to aging. It may start subtly. Maybe you notice a bit more itching than usual, or there's a musty smell that lingers no matter how clean you keep yourself. Maybe your skin feels irritated at the end of the day, or you find yourself tugging at your waistband, shifting in your seat, or looking for excuses to head home and change. For many women, especially over 60, these annoyances have simply been accepted as part of the deal, the price of growing older. But what if it's not just age? What if hidden in those familiar fabrics, there's something else quietly working against your comfort? Let's pause and ask ourselves, when was the last time you thought about the kind of underwear you're wearing? Its fabric, its fit, or how often you change it? Most people assume that as long as things look clean enough, they're doing just fine. But beneath the surface, especially as our skin changes with age, these small decisions can have a surprising impact. You see, our skin naturally becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive over time. The changes in hormones during and after menopause can make the skin around our intimate areas even more delicate. Unlike the robust, almost bulletproof skin we might have taken for granted in our 20s, this new skin requires a gentler touch, a little more attention to detail. And this is where fabric and hygiene quietly play a starring role. Let's talk about fabric first. Many types of underwear, especially those made from synthetic materials like polyester, nylon, or spandex blends, are popular because they promise a smooth fit, a little extra stretch, or maybe a touch of shapewear magic. But here's the science. These synthetic fabrics aren't as breathable as cotton. They tend to trap moisture and heat against the skin, creating the perfect environment for bacteria and yeast to flourish. As these microscopic guests multiply, they can lead to odors, itching, and even infections. Imagine you've been out gardening or taking a walk around the neighborhood. You get a little sweaty, perfectly normal, especially on a warm afternoon. But when moisture is trapped against your skin by non-breathable fabric, it doesn't have anywhere to go. Instead, it lingers, softening the skin and making it easier for irritation to set in. Over time, the combination of friction and moisture can break down the skin's natural barrier, leading to chafing, redness, and discomfort. Now, let's add another common habit into the mix. Not changing underwear often enough. Maybe it's because you're trying to stretch the laundry a little further, Or you figure it's fine to wear the same pair for 2 days if you didn't do much. After all, who's going to know? But even with minimal activity, your body naturally sheds tiny amounts of skin, sweat, and oil throughout the day. If you don't change your underwear daily, or even more often on especially hot or active days, you create the perfect conditions for irritation and that telltale, not-so-fresh feeling. So, what can you do about it? The good news is that these issues are usually easy to fix with a few simple changes. Nothing drastic or expensive, just thoughtful, caring adjustments to your routine. First, consider making cotton your new best friend. Cotton is soft, breathable, and absorbent. It lets air circulate your skin, wicks away moisture, and gives your most sensitive areas the gentle care they need. Look for 100% cotton underwear, or at the very least, styles with a cotton crotch lining. You might be surprised at how much fresher and more comfortable you feel after just a week or two. Next, make it a point to change your underwear every single day. No exceptions. On days when you're more active, exercising, or spending time outside, consider bringing an extra pair to change into midday if you get sweaty. If mobility is an issue, try keeping a small basket of clean underwear and a packet of gentle wipes in the bathroom for quick changes. And remember, the same goes for pajamas or sleepwear. Swap them out regularly, especially in the warmer months. Now you might be thinking, but my favorite pair is so comfortable, even if it's a little old. That's understandable. After all, comfort matters. But be mindful, as underwear ages, the fabric fibers can break down, trapping more bacteria even after washing. Aim to replace your underwear every 6 months to a year, depending on wear and tear. Think of it as a small investment in your well-being. Let me share a quick story about a woman named Mary. Mary had always favored her trusty nylon briefs. She loved the way they held their shape and were easy to wash. But after turning 70, she noticed more itching and even a mild rash from time to time. She tried new soaps and changed her laundry detergent, but nothing helped. It wasn't until her granddaughter, a nurse, suggested switching to all-cotton underwear and changing them daily that Mary saw a real difference. Within a couple of weeks, the itching stopped, and her skin felt more comfortable than it had in years. It was such a simple change, but for Mary, it felt like getting her confidence back. If you recognize yourself in this story, please know you're not alone, and you're not just getting old. Taking care of your skin and your comfort isn't a luxury or an indulgence. It's a basic act of kindness toward yourself. By paying attention to little details, like fabric choices and hygiene habits, you're sending your body the message that it's worth caring for every single day. So, as you go about your week, maybe take a few minutes to peek into your underwear drawer. See if it's time for a refresh, or if there's an old favorite you could retire in favor of something softer, safer, and more comfortable. Your skin will thank you. And most importantly, you'll feel that small but powerful sense of confidence that comes from knowing you're caring for yourself, inside and out. You deserve comfort, freshness, and peace of mind at every stage of life. Never let anyone or anything convince you otherwise. Cause 2. Using hygiene products with harsh chemicals or strong fragrances. Let's take a moment to think back, perhaps 50 years or more, to a time when self-care routines were a bit simpler. For many women, growing up in the 1950s and 60s, soap was soap, often a big white bar in the bathroom, the scent clean and uncomplicated. But as time went on, shelves filled up with endless bottles, body washes in jewel tones, shower gels that promised all-day freshness, lotions with exotic names, sprays and powders, and intimate washes. The packaging was cheerful, the promises were bold, and the scents, lavender, cucumber, spring rain, were meant to make us feel like we'd stepped into a luxury spa. Maybe you, like so many women, found yourself reaching for a brightly colored bottle at the store, believing that something extra would give you a boost of confidence, or help you feel clean and cared for. After all, why shouldn't we treat ourselves to a little luxury? But as the years passed, you may have noticed something unsettling. A tingling, then itching, maybe even a rash in sensitive areas that just wouldn't go away. Or perhaps it wasn't anything you could see, just a persistent feeling that something wasn't quite right, uncomfortable in your skin, and not sure why. It's easy to shrug this off, to think, I must just have sensitive skin now that I'm older, or even blame yourself for not taking care properly. But what if it's not you? What if, instead, the very products meant to bring comfort are quietly making things worse? Let's pause for a moment and ask a different question. Do you know exactly what's in your favorite body wash, scented soap, or intimate cleanser? Most of us don't. The ingredient lists are long and complicated. Words like sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, phthalates, and fragrance swirl together in tiny print on the back label. But behind these big words are powerful chemicals, many of which can be far too harsh for delicate, mature skin. Science tells us that as we age, our skin naturally becomes thinner, drier, and more fragile. The protective oil layer we once had diminishes, and the natural pH balance of our skin, especially in intimate areas, becomes easier to disrupt. In our 20s and 30s, we might have gotten away with perfumed soaps and strong deodorants. But now, even small exposures to these chemicals can lead to burning, itching, flaking, or persistent odor, all because the skin's protective barrier has been stripped away. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. One of the biggest culprits is fragrance. It sounds harmless, even pleasant. But fragrance on an ingredient label can mean a mixture of dozens, sometimes hundreds, of chemicals, many of which can be irritating. These added scents are designed to linger, but they often do so at the expense of skin health, especially when used every day. Then there are harsh detergents, like sodium lauryl sulfate, which creates satisfying bubbles but can dry the skin out, leaving it feeling tight or sore. Preservatives and colorants, included to extend shelf life or make the product look appealing, can cause allergic reactions or low-grade inflammation, particularly in older adults. There's another risk, too, especially for intimate washes and powders. Our bodies are marvelously self-regulating. The vagina, for example, is designed to keep itself clean with a delicate balance of good bacteria and natural acidity. Using strong cleansers or fragrance products can throw that balance out of whack, killing off helpful bacteria and letting yeast or other irritants take hold. This often leads to itching, burning, and even infections. Problems that can quickly snowball, especially if you're embarrassed to talk about them. So, what can you do? The answer, thankfully, is simple and gentle. Less is more. If you've been loyal to a certain soap or wash for years, but lately find yourself less comfortable, try switching to a fragrance-free, dye-free product. Look for unscented soaps labeled for sensitive skin, and use the smallest amount possible. When washing intimate areas, plain warm water is often best. There's rarely a need for special cleansers unless directed by a doctor. For those who feel they must use a wash, choose one specifically recommended by gynecologists, always checking the label for fragrance-free and pH balanced. Skip the powders and sprays altogether. These often cause more harm than good. Let's bring this closer to home with a story, a real one, from a woman named Susan. Susan always loved a particular rose-scented body wash. It reminded her of her mother's garden and made her feel pampered, especially after a long day. But in her early 70s, she started noticing her skin felt itchy and dry after every shower, and there was a persistent irritation that her usual creams just couldn't soothe. At first, she thought she was just getting old. But during a regular checkup, her doctor asked about the product she used, and gently suggested switching to a mild, unscented soap. Skeptical but willing to try anything, Susan made the switch. Within a couple of weeks, the itchiness faded, her skin felt calmer, and for the first time in years, she could go through the day without discomfort. The simple act of letting go of that lovely scent brought her more comfort than she ever expected. Stories like Susan's are common. Many women believe that discomfort is just a natural part of aging, but often it's simply a reaction to modern products that don't suit mature skin. There's a quiet power in making thoughtful choices, choosing fewer chemicals, less scent, and more gentleness. By taking a closer look at what we put on our skin, we can give ourselves the gift of real comfort, the kind that lasts beyond the shower or the morning routine. So if you're standing in your bathroom, staring at a row of colorful bottles, I invite you to ask yourself, is this product helping me feel my best, or is it time for a change? Listen to your skin, trust its signals, and don't be afraid to simplify. If you have questions or concerns, talk to your doctor. They've heard it all, and they're here to help. Remember, your comfort is worth protecting. You've cared for so many others throughout your life. Now, it's time to care gently for yourself. With just a few thoughtful changes, you can rediscover what it means to truly feel at home in your skin. And isn't that a beautiful thing to celebrate, at any age? Cause 3. Taking long, hot baths. For many of us, there's something deeply comforting about a hot bath. Maybe it's a tradition you picked up years ago, a nightly ritual after a long day of caring for others, or a weekend treat to soothe tired muscles and wash away worries. The familiar sound of water filling the tub, the gentle rise of steam, the way the heat relaxes tense shoulders and seems to melt the world's problems, if only for a little while. A bath is more than just a way to get clean. It can feel like a haven, a moment of peace and self-care that's wholly your own. But have you ever noticed that after these long, luxurious soaks, your skin doesn't feel as happy as your mind? Maybe you've stepped out of the tub feeling dry, itchy, or a bit more sensitive than before. Perhaps the skin on your legs or arms is flaky, or you find yourself needing more and more lotion just to feel comfortable. For some, it's even more uncomfortable. Redness, irritation, or a burning sensation that lingers long after you're dry. You might chalk it up to just getting older. After all, isn't dry skin part of the package? But here's the surprising truth. Those long, hot baths you love might be doing your skin more harm than good. It's a counterintuitive idea. After all, doesn't heat relax us? Doesn't water soothe the body? Why would something that feels so nurturing on the inside leave the outside feeling worse? Let's pause and ask the question. Could our favorite self-care ritual secretly be sabotaging our comfort? The answer, as it turns out, is rooted in the science of skin. As we age, our skin becomes thinner, less oily, and more prone to dryness and irritation. The body naturally produces fewer natural oils, the invisible shield that keeps moisture locked in and irritants out. Hot water, while soothing, actually strips away these precious oils much faster than cooler water does. The longer and hotter the bath, the more those oils are washed away, leaving skin vulnerable, parched, and easily irritated. That's why, for many women over 60, the soothing soak of yesterday now leaves their skin crying out for relief. And it's not just the skin on your arms and legs. The delicate areas of the body, the ones most prone to itching and discomfort, are even more sensitive to heat and prolonged exposure to water. When those protective oils are gone, it's easier for bacteria or yeast to get a foothold, especially if you're already dealing with changes from menopause or taking medications that dry the skin further. Let's not forget that hot water opens up the pores and can make the skin swell ever so slightly. This sounds nice in theory, but it can make you more susceptible to irritants, especially if you use fragranced bath products or bubble baths, which can sneak into those open pores and cause reactions. For some, these reactions don't show up right away. Instead, they quietly build up over weeks or months until you realize you're stuck in a cycle. The hotter and longer the bath, the more you itch and the drier you feel, leading you to take another bath for relief. Now, I am not suggesting you give up your beloved bath time entirely. Far from it. The good news is, you don't have to sacrifice comfort or abandon your routine to protect your skin. Like so much in life, it's about finding balance and making a few gentle adjustments. First, try turning down the temperature. Lukewarm or warm water is much kinder to aging skin. If you can, keep the bath water no hotter than what you'd use to bathe a baby. Pleasantly warm, but never hot enough to make your skin red or flushed. You'll still get the relaxing benefits, without stripping away those vital natural oils. Next, keep your soak short and sweet. Aim for no more than 10 to 15 minutes in the tub. It might sound difficult at first, especially if you've always loved lingering in the warmth, but you might be surprised at how refreshed your skin feels after a shorter bath. If you want to extend your relaxation time, consider finishing your soak with a few minutes of quiet time wrapped in a soft towel or robe, letting your body wind down without staying submerged. Be mindful of what you put in the bath, too. Many bubbles, salts, and scented oils contain ingredients that dry or irritate the skin, especially when used often. Choose products labeled fragrance-free or for sensitive skin, or simply stick to plain water. Your skin will thank you. Once you step out of the tub, pat your skin dry gently with a soft towel. Don't rub. And while your skin is still slightly damp, apply a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer from head to toe. This helps seal in the moisture and rebuilds that natural barrier, keeping your skin soft, healthy, and comfortable. Let me share a story from a friend named Linda. Linda always treasured her evening bath. It was her time to unwind, read a book, and escape the day's worries. But a few years ago, she started noticing that her skin felt tight and itchy, especially in the winter. She went through dozens of lotions and creams, but nothing truly helped. One day, her daughter gently suggested, "Mom, what if it's the bath itself?" Skeptical, Linda agreed to try shorter, cooler baths and swapped out her usual floral bubble bath for plain water. Within a month, the difference was remarkable. Her skin calmed down, the itching disappeared, and Linda still enjoyed her special evening ritual, but now with a new sense of ease. If you recognize yourself in Linda's story, know that you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with wanting comfort and warmth at the end of the day. By making just a few small changes, you can protect your skin and still cherish those peaceful moments to yourself. Remember, self-care isn't about sacrifice. It's about listening to your body's changing needs and responding with kindness. As you prepare for your next bath, maybe pause for a moment and check the temperature, set a gentle timer, or reach for that unscented moisturizer waiting on the shelf. These are small acts of self-respect, reminders that you are still worthy of comfort, softness, and health, no matter your age. Your skin is with you every step of the way. Give it the care and attention it deserves, and it will reward you with the comfort you can feel, both inside and out. That's a promise worth keeping, at any stage of life. Cause 4. Not changing towels and clothes frequently enough. It's easy to overlook the little things in our daily routines, especially the habits we've carried with us for years. For many women, the towel hanging in the bathroom is almost like an old friend, a soft, familiar presence you rely on every day, and sometimes use for several days in a row. The same goes for house clothes, that favorite cardigan, a pair of cozy slacks, or the nightgown that's just too comfortable to give up, even after several nights' use. After all, they don't look dirty, and you haven't exactly been running marathons around the house. So why not stretch out the laundry for another day or two? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But have you ever stopped to wonder if this quiet habit could be at the root of some persistent discomfort? Maybe you've noticed more itching lately, a lingering musty smell, or patches of irritated skin that don't seem to go away no matter how carefully you bathe. For many women over 60, these little annoyances start to feel like part of life, a nuisance that's simply the way it is as we get older. But what if it isn't just age? What if the towels and clothes we trust the most are quietly making our lives less comfortable? Let's ask a question we might not have thought about before. When was the last time you gave your towels or loungewear a second thought? Most of us grew up believing a towel should be used for a few days before hitting the laundry basket. In the days of big families and busy homes, reusing towels and clothes just made sense. But as life changes, so do our bodies. And the things we don't see with the naked eye become much more important. Here's what's going on. Towels, by their very nature, collect moisture. When we dry off after a shower, our towels absorb not only water, but tiny flakes of skin, natural oils, and even bacteria from our bodies. If the towel is left damp in a humid bathroom, or worse, bunched up on the counter or shower rail, bacteria and fungi have the perfect opportunity to multiply. Even if you can't see or smell them right away, these invisible guests settle deep into the fibers. The next time you wrap yourself in that towel, you're reintroducing those microbes to your clean skin, especially in sensitive areas that are prone to itching, rashes, and irritation. Clothes work much the same way, particularly items worn close to the body. Nightgowns, pajamas, bras, or house dresses pick up sweat, oils, and the smallest bits of debris as you go about your day or night. The older we get, the more our skin changes. It becomes thinner, drier, and often more vulnerable to infection or irritation. When we reuse clothing without washing it, the fabric can harbor not just everyday dirt, but bacteria and yeasts that thrive in warm, damp environments. Think under the arms, between the legs, or wherever the fabric stays in contact with the skin for hours on end. Over time, this can lead to a cycle of discomfort, persistent itching, minor rashes, or even recurrent infections that never seem to fully clear up. You might change soaps, try new creams, or blame your age when the real answer could be hanging right on your towel rack or tucked into your dresser. But don't worry. Solving this problem doesn't require expensive products or complicated routines. It's all about making small, thoughtful changes that put your comfort and health first. First and foremost, make it a habit to switch out towels frequently. Dermatologists recommend using a clean towel every 2 to 3 uses, and more often if you have sensitive skin or are prone to irritation. If you shower daily, that could mean reaching for a fresh towel every other day. Hand towels and washcloths should be changed even more often, especially if they're used to dry intimate areas or the face. It's also important to allow towels to dry completely between uses. Instead of hanging them in a bunched-up pile, spread them out over a rack or shower bar so they can air out. This reduces moisture and makes it harder for bacteria and fungi to thrive. Next, take a fresh look at your loungewear and sleepwear habits. Even if you're mostly at home or not breaking a sweat, try to change your nightgown, pajamas, or any clothing worn close to the skin at least every other day. Underwear and bras should be changed daily, and if you tend to sweat or have sensitive skin, consider swapping out even more frequently. Keep a small basket of fresh clothes handy in your bedroom or bathroom for easy access, and don't be afraid to retire old favorites that just don't feel fresh anymore, no matter how comfortable they once were. Let me share a true story from Helen, a retired schoolteacher in Ohio. For years, Helen prided herself on being frugal and efficient. She'd grown up in a big family during lean times, so reusing towels and wearing her favorite nightgown for a week seemed both sensible and comforting. But in her 70s, Helen started noticing more frequent itching and even developed a recurring rash on her arms and legs. At first, she thought it was a reaction to soap or a side effect of her medications. But during a visit with her doctor, they talked about her daily habits, and her doctor gently suggested changing towels and sleepwear more often. Skeptical but willing to try, Helen made the switch. Within weeks, the itching faded, the rash cleared up, and she felt fresher and more comfortable than she had in years. If you see yourself in Helen's story, please know you're not alone. Many women grow up with habits that made perfect sense at the time, only to discover later that a simple change can make a world of difference. There's no shame in learning and adapting as our bodies change. If anything, it's a sign of wisdom and self-respect. So, the next time you step out of the shower or slip into bed, pause for a moment and consider, is that towel really clean and dry? Could a fresh set of pajamas help your skin feel a little more at ease? Sometimes, the smallest acts of care have the greatest impact. Remember, your comfort matters. You deserve to feel fresh, clean, and at home in your skin every single day. Don't let old habits or a busy schedule keep you from the simple pleasures of comfort and health. Little changes, done with love, can help you greet each morning with a smile, and that's a gift worth giving yourself again and again. Cause 5. Inadequate hydration and diet. It's a truth many of us have heard time and time again: drink plenty of water. Yet, in the busy rhythm of daily life, especially as we grow older, keeping up with proper hydration can sometimes fall to the bottom of the priority list. Maybe you don't feel as thirsty as you used to, or you worry about frequent bathroom trips interrupting your day or night's sleep. Or perhaps you simply forget, distracted by other tasks or the many responsibilities that come with age. The same goes for diet. What we eat changes over the years, and sometimes so do our appetites and tastes. But have you noticed that your skin feels drier, or that discomfort and irritation seem to linger longer than before? What if these small, everyday habits, or the lack of them, are quietly contributing to those problems? You might think, is hydration that important at my age? Isn't it natural to feel a bit dry or uncomfortable sometimes? It's a common thought. But the reality is that water and nutrition play a much bigger role in how your skin looks and feels than many realize. They're foundational to your body's ability to stay healthy, resilient, and comfortable. Let's take a moment to understand why. As we age, our bodies undergo many changes. The skin becomes thinner and less elastic, and the natural oils that keep it moist begin to decline. Without enough hydration from the inside, your skin can't perform its essential function, acting as a protective barrier that locks moisture in and keeps irritants out. When you don't drink enough water, your skin can become tight, flaky, and more prone to itching and inflammation. Similarly, diet affects skin health in surprising ways. Foods rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and healthy fats help nourish the skin from within. But a diet lacking in these nutrients, or high in processed foods, sugar, and salt, can contribute to dryness, irritation, and even worsen inflammation. Spicy foods, caffeine, and alcohol, when consumed in excess, may also dehydrate the body and aggravate skin conditions. It's not just about appearance or comfort. Proper hydration supports your immune system, helping your body fight off infections that could cause unpleasant skin problems. It also helps regulate body temperature and supports kidney function, which indirectly affects your skin's health. So what can you do? The good news is that you don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Small, manageable changes can make a big difference. Start with water. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses a day, but listen to your body. Sometimes a bit more or less is fine, especially if you have certain health conditions. If plain water feels boring, try infusing it with fresh slices of lemon, cucumber, or berries for a gentle flavor boost. Keep a water bottle handy wherever you go as a reminder to sip throughout the day. And if nighttime trips to the bathroom worry you, focus on hydration earlier in the day, tapering off in the evening. Next, take a fresh look at your plate. Incorporate colorful fruits and vegetables rich in vitamins C and E, which help protect and repair skin. Foods like berries, leafy greens, nuts, and fish high in omega-3 fatty acids support skin elasticity and reduce inflammation. Limit processed snacks and foods high in sugar, which can increase dryness and irritation. It might feel overwhelming at first, but small changes add up. Swap a sugary snack for a handful of walnuts. Choose grilled salmon over fried foods. Add a spinach salad to your lunch. Every choice is a step toward healthier, happier skin. Let me tell you about Carol, a woman I know from a local community center. In her late 60s, Carol had struggled with dry, itchy skin for years. She tried countless creams and lotions, but nothing seemed to help. One day, after a wellness seminar, she decided to focus on hydration and diet. She started drinking more water and added fresh fruits and vegetables to her meals. Within weeks, Carol noticed her skin was softer and less irritated. She felt more energetic and even slept better. For Carol, these simple changes weren't just about skin. They became a source of renewed vitality and confidence. If you relate to Carol's story, remember that it's never too late to listen to your body's needs. Taking care of yourself with kindness and patience is a powerful act. Hydration and nutrition aren't just about looking good. They're about feeling your best every day. So as you move through your week, consider this. How often do you pause to drink water or choose nourishing foods? What small step can you take right now to support your skin and your overall well-being? Your body is your lifelong companion. Treat it with love, and it will reward you with comfort and resilience. You deserve to feel fresh, healthy, and vibrant at any age. And sometimes, the simplest things make the greatest difference. Cause 6. Ignoring symptoms and avoiding medical checkups. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's a feeling many of us know all too well. The hesitation, the quiet worry, the little voice inside that says, maybe it's nothing, or I'll just wait and see if it gets better. When it comes to our health, especially as we grow older, it's tempting to ignore certain symptoms or delay visits to the doctor. Sometimes, it's because we don't want to burden anyone, or we feel embarrassed to talk about intimate or personal issues. Other times, it's because we simply don't want to face the possibility of bad news. And often, it's just easier to keep going as we have, hoping things will improve on their own. But what if this hesitation is costing us more comfort, and even health, than we realize? Many women over 60 experience changes in their bodies that can cause symptoms like itching, persistent odors, skin irritation, or unusual discomfort. These symptoms are often easy to dismiss as just part of aging or normal menopause stuff. And while some changes are indeed natural, others may signal conditions that need attention. Ignoring these signs can lead to chronic problems, infections, or other complications that might have been prevented or treated earlier with proper care. Here's a gentle truth. Your body is trying to tell you something. Those small irritations, persistent discomforts, or changes in how you feel are signals. Messages that deserve listening. When we brush them aside or avoid talking to healthcare providers, we risk missing important clues about our overall health. Medical checkups aren't just about diagnosing serious illnesses. They're opportunities to ask questions, share concerns, and get guidance tailored to your unique body. Many women hesitate because of discomfort discussing personal topics or because previous experiences with doctors were rushed or dismissive. But today's healthcare providers understand the importance of compassionate care, especially for women navigating the complex changes of later life. Taking the step to schedule a checkup or discuss symptoms with your doctor can feel daunting, but it's one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. Early diagnosis often means simpler treatment, less discomfort, and faster relief. Whether it's a mild infection, a skin condition, or hormonal changes, medical professionals can help you find solutions that improve your quality of life. Let me share a story about a woman I met at a senior wellness group, and had experienced persistent itching and irritation for months but was too embarrassed to mention it during her routine visits. She worried the doctor might think she was making a fuss or that nothing could be done. Eventually, a close friend encouraged her to speak up. When and finally did, her doctor listened carefully and diagnosed a manageable yeast infection. With treatment, her symptoms cleared quickly, and felt a renewed sense of confidence. She told me, "I wish I hadn't waited so long. It was such a relief to know there was a simple answer." Anne's story reminds us that seeking help isn't a sign of weakness or overreaction. It's a courageous step toward well-being. If you're feeling unsure about what's normal or what deserves attention, consider keeping a small journal. Note when symptoms occur, how long they last, and anything that makes them better or worse. This can help you communicate clearly with your healthcare provider. And remember, you're not alone. Many women experience similar concerns and find comfort and answers through honest conversations with their doctors. Finally, think of medical checkups as a form of self-respect. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now it's time to care for yourself with the same compassion. By facing your concerns head-on and seeking professional advice, you're investing in your comfort, your dignity, and your health. So, if you've been putting off that appointment or ignoring those subtle signals, I encourage you to take a gentle step forward today. Your body deserves to be heard, and you deserve to feel your best. Remember, it's never too late to prioritize your health. Every step you take toward understanding and caring for your body is a celebration of the life you've lived, and the many wonderful moments still to come. As we've explored today, the little things we might overlook, whether it's the fabrics we wear, the products we use, how we care for our skin, what we eat and drink, or even the way we listen to our bodies, can have a profound impact on our comfort and well-being. These 6 surprising causes of odor, itching, and skin irritation are common, yet often misunderstood or ignored. But understanding them empowers you to take gentle, meaningful steps toward feeling fresh, comfortable, and confident every day. Remember, these changes don't have to be overwhelming or complicated. Sometimes, the simplest adjustments, a switch to breathable cotton underwear, choosing fragrance-free products, shortening your bath time, changing towels regularly, drinking enough water, or scheduling that important checkup, can make all the difference in the world. You deserve to feel at ease in your skin, no matter your age. If you've been silently struggling with discomfort, know that you're not alone, and you don't have to face it quietly. By learning more about your body's needs and honoring them with care and attention, you're giving yourself a powerful gift, the gift of self-respect and renewed confidence. I encourage you to share this video with friends or loved ones who might also benefit from these insights. Together, we can support one another in living healthier, happier lives. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss future videos filled with tips and stories designed just for you. Thank you for spending this time with me. May you continue to embrace every day with kindness, grace, and the knowledge that caring for yourself is the most beautiful thing you can do. Here's to your comfort, health, and joy, today and always.